Before today's episode, I wish to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nations, and recognise their continued connection to the beautiful land and sea. I'd also like to pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, and I extend this acknowledgement to the traditional owners of the land my listeners are on. Welcome to Ritual the Podcast, your cottage in the woods. A sacred space for the witches, the healers, the magical folk to meet and speak of wisdom, witchery, and old world magic, where people come to learn, to hear stories, to share secrets, and to be free to be their true selves. Welcome to Ritual.
Hello and welcome back to Ritual. I am here with Patrick Harvey. And look, I feel so refreshed. I've had a week off. A lot's happened.
That's right.
Actually, there is a lot that's happened. And maybe we should take this opportunity while we're both here together to say thank you.
Thank you.
To all the beautiful people who sent messages in regards to us sharing the news that
we're having a baby.
We're having a baby. Number 3 is on the way.
It's cooking in the oven.
It's baking as we speak. So thank you so much to everybody. We got so many nice messages, didn't we?
There was a ton.
There was a lot. And they're actually still coming through. So
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much as well. It's very, very lovely to know that there's so many people that are happy for us.
It's been a wild ride.
It has.
So it's definitely nice to share it as well. Like we've done a few podcasts together now where we've had a little secret and I've been feeling pretty average.
Amy doesn't get the best
no.
time with morning sickness.
I get bad morning sickness
to the point where we've had to hospitalize you a few times.
Not this time.
We've been very
Poppy
lucky.
Was the worst, but now I know how to manage it. In terms of morning sickness, she was. But now I know how to manage it and I get onto it pretty quickly. So yeah, but I still have been feeling pretty crappy, but I am actually feeling a lot better now.
And I'm glad to hear that, Amy. It's lovely to meet you. So what is going on?
Oh, how are you?
How am I? We had a weekend away.
We did.
And then we had a couple of nights without the kids, which is pretty nice.
It was nice.
Just nice to talk and to finish
a movie
sentences. We went and saw Jurassic Park and it's brilliant.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And I'm feeling good.
That's good.
I'm feeling very good.
Good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to all the things that are in the works at the minute. What about you, Amy? Are you well?
Yeah, we just covered that. I'm good.
Are you? What? But apart from the baby sitch,
oh yeah, I'm good.
Are you good?
Yeah,
like happy in your marriage and all that kind of stuff?
This is going somewhere I didn't expect it to go, but yeah, sure.
Tell me.
I'm very happy, everyone.
See?
So we are back with a stories episode today.
That is correct.
And we have decided to do magical places. Now this one it's a hard one because there are so many. There are literally so many. So I think we'll have to do a couple of these because there's ones I would like to learn more about. And also some I would just like to talk about because I love them. And there's like so many angles that you can go to as well, like spiritual or historical or spooky or whatever. Mythical. Yeah, the other one I was going to do is more mythical. Well, this one is as well.
Mine's mythical.
Mine's pretty mythical too. But yeah, I'm excited. I like these ones.
I like story time.
I like story time.
And if you like story time, please let us know at PO Box 475, Melbourne.
Anyway, so who's going first?
Mine isn't a long story.
Okay.
but I took a sneak peek and there's about 3 pages of yours.
Yeah, but my
didn't read
writing
any,
is
but-
big
Well,
and I talk fast.
okay.
So don't be
Okay. Well,
intimidated.
good episode's a
But
short
I also
episode.
did the assignment correctly. So,
Okay. I'm going to have a wee drink.
so you know,
Okay.
I was that person in school who wrote lots of notes. Yes.
What most people call a nerd. So
Yes.
I will start then, Amy. Are you
Yes,
ready?
Please go. Story
Focus.
time begins with Paddy.
In 3, 2, 1. So today I am going to talk.
Oh, actually, sorry.
Yes.
We both had a similar like theme or vibe or something, and
Oh,
we
yes.
didn't even realize.
So we don't know. I don't really know the story that Amy's got.
But both of ours have something in common that is so random that we both happen to pick it.
I know.
They both have giants.
Giants.
How funny is that? That's so weird. I thought that was so bizarre.
It is a bit
that we did
bizarre.
that.
I know.
We're in the same wavelength
It's like we-
for once.
Cheapers.
Okay, sorry.
We should talk offline about all that stuff.
Please go.
That passive aggressive. Okay, so I am going to start in a place that I know quite familiarly, is Northern Ireland, and
That was
there
Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland. So there is, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard about it. There is an amazing place called the Giants Causeway.
We were going to go there when we went to Ireland.
We were,
but
and
it's
it's the most popular tourist site in Ireland.
really.
Yes, and in the 80s, it was listed as a World Heritage Site. So you can't touch it, you can't damage it. Like, if anything, they're trying to preserve it, and they've put
good.
like special grass around it and everything to help it.
That's good.
But it is an amazing thing. If you've never seen a photo of it, Google a photo of it. So essentially,
Is this the one that's like on the coast and it's like all the stones in the water?
Yes. So
Ooh, actually a very similar theme to mine. Just a
Is
little
it?
sneak peek. Yes.
yours is on about getting stones
There's
as well.
stones in water. Yes.
So Giants Causeway, they say if you subscribe to the myths, then don't listen to this bit.
Mhm.
But they say that Giants Causeway was formed about 40 to 60 million years ago, right?
Wow.
Which is pretty, I try and fathom that and I can't in my tiny wee brain.
Were the dinosaurs around at that point?
Yeah.
Because there's so many
Yes.
years. Were they?
Yes. 50 million years. Yeah.
Okay.
Dinosaurs were around up until about 10 million years ago, weren't they?
I don't know. We should ask Andy.
We'll do a dinosaur episode next time.
We
Nobody-
should.
nobody
I would
knows who Andy is.
If you know,
It's a CBB show.
if you know
from-
that reference, then we should ask Andy to leave a comment.
and his prehistoric
Yeah, you'll
adventures.
probably be a parent or awesome.
Andy, we'll give him a call.
Sorry, I
Um,
keep interrupting. Go.
So where it is off the coast of County Antrim, there was a lot of volcanic activity. And essentially molten basalt, which is very, very fluid, pushed through the chalk beds, and it created this giant sort of lava plateau. And then the lava went down into the sea.
Was there the volcano was in Ireland?
There was either volcanic action around Antrim, the coast of Antrim. And so what happened is, as it hit the water, pardon me,
Okay.
it cooled and like contracted. And what it did was it formed these horizontal pillars, because it went up and then it kind of pulled itself down. And so I'm just trying to get the correct, it flowed obviously downwards, right? And it created these sort of hexagonal columns that fit together fairly perfectly.
Yeah.
And then these cracks formed in it. And then they also formed horizontally as well, creating what they call biscuits. And not the delicious biscuits that you'd put in your tea, more molten basalt biscuits. And biscuits.
That's a Bluey reference.
For those of
Parents
you
listening.
who want to like be on in the know with these episodes, just watch ABC Kids for a day, and then you'll kind of get most of what we're talking about. So there are today, obviously they still exist today, 60 million years after they've been formed, and there's 40,000 of these columns, and they all fit perfectly together.
Wow.
But Irish mythology is a beautiful thing, and
there's a lot of it. They love a good tale.
Weirdly enough, this Giants Causeway is about 5 kilometers away from the Bushmills distillery, so you never know. A few lads went down.
I didn't know what I saw.
Did the tasting flight and went, do you know all them
the Giants
stones came from? I'm gonna tell you a story. But according to legend, this is the best part about it. All the signs can go out the window. So there was a great giant that lived in Ireland called Fingal. And he was challenged by a Scottish giant called Benandonner. And Benandonner wanted to claim Ireland for himself. So the story goes is that, I don't know, there must have been a bit of heckling back and forth. I'm coming over to take Ireland. And he said, you're not. This is my island. And what happened was Fingal grabs a big chunk of the Antrim coastline and throws it out. So just to be also a bit more descriptive of this, if you stand where like Giants Causeway, you can actually see Scotland on a clear day. Yeah, it's far, but like it's not far. Like you get on a clear day, you can actually see the land.
That's cool.
But so Fingal's grabbed a huge chunk of the coastline and thrown it at Benandonner. It's landed in the water. And what happened was he said, you know what, I'm gonna go over and get him and challenge him. So he started to create this causeway, the causeway that would go between Ireland and Scotland. And he went over to challenge him. So he started constructing this causeway to get over to Scotland. And as he got over, he actually stopped. He stopped dead. That was for dramatic effect. He stopped dead because he saw the size of Benandonner. And he was much bigger close up. And he was much bigger than Fingal. So Fingal ran back to Ireland.
Never mind.
And he got his wife, get this, he got his wife to wrap him up in like a muslin cloth, like as a baby, right?
What?
So he wrapped himself up as a baby. And Benandonner used the causeway. And he came over to Ireland. And he saw Fingal's wife sitting there holding this giant baby.
Is Fingal's wife also a giant?
She is also a giant.
Okay.
Or else how would they have made a baby?
Well, that was the next question.
No, weird to watch. But Benandonner came over and saw Fingal's wife holding this giant baby.
Yeah.
And he went to himself, if that's the size of the baby,
how
big's Fingal? So
that's clever.
So he ran back to Scotland, and as he ran back, he started destroying the causeway. So he actually broke up the causeway, so that the connection between Ireland and Scotland wasn't there anymore by stone. Weirdly enough, though, and here's a bit of fact for you, this could all possibly be true because Fingal's Cove is where, or Cave is where Benandonner lived.
And this is in Scotland.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think is at the near the edge of Fingal's Cave in Scotland? The same hexagonal basalt molten lava rocks. So it kind of backs up the myth that there was a causeway between the two places.
That's very interesting.
That he created that causeway all the way to Scotland and then retreated. But there are hexagonal rocks at Fingal's Cave over in Scotland that look the same as the Giants Causeway.
That's pretty cool.
Good enough.
Sneeze.
Don't sneeze.
Excuse me. 2 things. First of all, is a fact.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a vet nurse, there was an Irish setter that came into the vet, and his name was Captain Fingal.
Brilliant.
Yeah, he was awesome. Just so everyone knows, he was really cool. And
he was captain as well.
And he was a captain. Secondly, do you believe in giants?
I believe that at one stage, yes.
Mm.
Like if you look at I mean, and it's like saying, I've never seen a dinosaur. Would you believe there's giant lizards running around? If you look at like a crocodile, would you imagine there's something 7 times the size of that could swim around in the ocean? And you'd say, nah, there's no way. But you've seen the skeleton, so you know it's real.
Yeah.
But just like the great Tim Allen says in Santa Claus, sometimes believing is seeing. And if you you don't have to see something in order to you don't have to see it in order to believe it. I mean, it's what faith is, really, isn't it? It's just knowing or believing in something. But definitely, why would there not be?
And I think
why are we so arrogant to believe
it's like the aliens? And remember we talked about this with mermaids, like there's so much of the world that's unknown and unexplored that it's kind of very close-minded to think that we're the only ones who have occupied this place. And I also think, as we're about to hear as well, from a completely different part of the world, there are stories of the same thing, from way back. And you go, well, how do people who are situated all around the world, who had no way of communicating, who didn't even know the other person or the other kind of people existed, have these same stories about these same kinds of beings without already knowing the other people's stories, So
there's no it's not like they all met up and went,
no,
do you want to
they
make
didn't
up?
go on a Facebook group and go, let's make up giant stories. They all have these different tales of these beings, whether they're aliens or giants or fairies or whatever.
Look at pyramids and structures that align with stars, and the Mayan pyramids versus the Egyptian ones.
Why not?
But yes, I do. Do you? You do?
Yeah.
I do. I definitely do. I mean, people that are 7, 8 foot tall, or they exist. They don't not.
Maybe we just got smaller.
Maybe we just got smaller.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have to be so tall. Or maybe it's kind of like those goldfish. The bigger the pond, the bigger they get.
Yeah.
We're less and less people, and whatever. I don't know. Or less and less space.
How come the dinosaurs were so big, but now our lizards are so small?
So maybe, I do.
I agree.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I do. All right. That's me.
That was a good story.
That was a very quick one.
I would like to go there. We were going to go there.
We're so close.
Next time.
We're so
it looks
close.
Beautiful. Anywhere along the coast part of Ireland looks amazing.
It is. It's great. It's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. And like the West Coast, we went there a lot when I was a kid, and it never failed to impress me.
Yeah.
With the Atlantic just bashing against the coastline. It is truly a beautiful, beautiful place. Amy, I would love to hear your story.
No, don't read me.
Okay.
So mine is also a coastal story, but mine is about a place called Nan Madol. Now, I heard a story about this place a little while ago, and I was blown away because I had never heard of this place before. But it's so weird. It's such a weird story, and it's still a mystery, which I'll get into, but I had to share. That's the first one that came into my mind because it's not one that people would usually tell. And I don't know if many people know. There may be some of you who do, but I didn't know anything about it. So yes, Nan Madol is on Pohnpei Island in the Federated States of Micronesia, I think is how you would say it. It's like it's adjacent to the eastern shore of it. So it's just off the main island of Pohnpei. So Nan Madol is a archaeological district which covers more than 18 square kilometers. So it's not huge, but it's big enough to be strange when I tell you what it is. Basically, it consists of these huge stone walls that are like stacked stones. If you haven't like seen it before, you should definitely Google the photo so you can get a better idea. But there's just like, it's all these stacked stone walls that are huge. And the stones, they're so big and they're incredibly heavy. And there's this real mystery about how these stones were even there in the first place, because it's literally in the middle of the ocean. Like there's nothing around it at all. But there's like thousands of these stone walls like stacked all around each other.
Are they individual stones
Yeah.
that are stacked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the way that Nan Madol is situated, it's basically impossible for human life to exist there. There's no fresh drinking water. There's no source of food. There's no soil for agriculture. So you can't even like grow your own things. And the elements are so extreme and there's no protection from them. Because like I said, they're literally in the middle of the ocean. So you can imagine the storms would be crazy. The sun would be insane. The wind, like all of it. And there's no protection.
Sorry, this is an island.
An island.
Okay.
But there was evidence that people lived there for at least 500 to 600 years. Like, as in there's actual evidence that people have lived and existed on this island. And they think that the first evidence of people being there was around 1 to 2 BC. But they think that it started to, what's the word? Like, you know, when you start to build a city, like, you know, you start to properly live there, there's a word, colonized, maybe around 400 AD.
Oh, wow.
So, but again, the thing about this place is there's not much information. The reason for that is that the people around that island, so Pompeii especially, they, through time, it's very much like how the Vikings were, where they didn't write down things.
Oh, yeah.
They only verbally told stories. I know, if only they did. So there's no like written evidence or historical facts. It's only hearsay. But there is this, I guess, it's not a myth, it's a belief with it to this day that people aren't allowed to know the entire history and like knowledge of Nan Madol, because they believe that if you know everything, then you would have no reason to live anymore and you would die. So when people told stories, they would only tell parts of the story. So there's all these gaps, because the belief was if you knew everything about it, you would have no reason to live anymore and you would die.
Why? Because it's so awesome there?
I have no idea. That's just what their belief is.
Bit arrogant. If you know everything about my island, you don't deserve to live.
Well, they didn't even live on the island. Like, this is in Pompeii. So there's just this belief that if you and I don't know if maybe.
But you said it was inhabited for 400 to 600 years.
It was, but then it wasn't, which you'll hear soon. Okay. So, but from like then onwards, people would only kind of half tell stories.
Sorry, can I just jump ahead? Is there a link between them everyone in Pompeii finding out and then the lava?
No.
Oh.
What lava?
You know, Pompeii, whenever there was the volcano eruption. And the people that all got
not in my story.
You know, the Pompeii village was, the volcano went out and then the lava like went over people. Remember, they preserved all the bodies. No, you've seen that. They've got the bodies that are perfectly preserved in the position they were in when they died.
Well, no, because this is a separate island. So
No, but I thought, did they find out everything about?
No, I don't know. That will have to be part
Nudal?
2. Nan Madol.
So is it Nudal?
So the natives are super secretive to this day about it, and they really don't like tourists going there. So you can actually visit Nan Madol.
No.
It's a legit place, but they're really against people going for reasons you'll find out. So there are rumors that Nan Madol is actually ruins from the lost city of Lemuria. And there is again this real confusion about how these stacked stones got there, because they're literally in the middle of an ocean. So if you don't know about Lemuria, basically it's one of the lost cities. So think things like Avalon, Atlantis, Lemuria is one of them. Funnily enough, the people of Lemuria were said to be these really big, tall people. So maybe, I don't know, there's some connection energetically to that. I don't know. But Lemuria is definitely an interesting thing to read about. If you're interested, go for it.
In Lemuria.
So it is believed, and this is what the locals tell now, the ones that will speak up about it. It is believed that the beginning of the city began with the arrival of two brothers. And they were twins. They were both sorcerers, and supposedly they were giants, and they were called Elsipa and Alosipa. That was their name, their two names. And apparently they arrived from a mythical land and wanted to build an altar on the island. So they actually went to the people of Pompeii and said, we've come from this place, we want to build an altar. And the natives of Pompeii, they were so in awe of them because they were these like huge godlike people. And they gave them permission. And so in the night, people would hear these huge noises like banging and screeching and just like all these crazy noises. And they said that the brothers were literally constructing the island, like with the stones. They were stacking them on top of each other, but the stones were levitating. And they also said that the brothers had help from a dragon, and he was aiding them in building this island. So they made 100 small islands that are connected by canals. So the island is made up of islands.
Okay.
I know it's confusing to think about, but if you see a photo of it, it kind of makes more sense. And they were connected by these canals, and these, let's say it was a village, had a spiritual hub. And apparently there were at least 1,000 people who had come from Pompeii to live on this island.
Wow.
And they had food. They had food halls. They had canoe construction sites. They had spas. They had baths. They had tombs. And these are places that we can explore now. So they actually existed, and you can see them. So Elsipa eventually died from old age and is said to be buried on the island. And Alosipa married a woman who had provided, who had 16 children with him.
What?
And so there's a conversation about a giant and a human that only they could answer. 16 children. Can you imagine them coming out?
My God, imagine the child benefits you'd be getting from the government for that.
I know. So eventually, Nan Madol was conquered by this demigod called Isakelkel. I think his name is Isakelkel. But their people, so when the island was conquered and his people moved in, they only lasted a week because they had no food, they had no water, and the people literally started dying because they had no way of living.
But how did the other ones?
Well, that's the thing. How did they survive? But these people didn't. So they all had to leave the island and move back to Pompeii. And they were so confused because they were like, how have these people lived here for so long when that we literally can't find any food or water?
Yeah.
So it's said that these brothers were able to supply them with food and fresh water and everything that they needed, but they don't know how. But these people survived for so long. So researchers and archaeologists have tried to explain this place. They have tried to carry a 1-ton stone and it immediately sunk. Now, the average stone in Nan Madol is 50 tons. So if a 1-ton stone can't do it, how are 50-ton stones stacked on top of each other able to get there?
So is it stacked stone all the way down to the ocean
Well,
floor?
so what it is, it's made on the coral reef underneath.
Yeah.
And they're all stacked on that. It's very...
How old is this place? You said 1
old.
BC.
1 BC is when the first people were known to be there.
Yeah, right, okay.
So it's fairly old,
Yeah.
but it goes back who knows how long. So there's also a theory that the land was still connected to the islands. So you know how like all countries were connected. So they thought that maybe the stones were carried, like transported by land. So what they did is they said it would obviously be like the method of how they would have logs and they would move things on the logs.
Roll them, yeah.
So they tried to do that and all the logs were crushed immediately because they were so heavy that they couldn't even be carried by logs. So they're really, to this day, just like, how did these things get here? Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's like the pyramids, though, and they
It's
have
like
all these
all of
theories,
them.
and they go, well, this is we think how they constructed this, but how
We don't know.
how did they
Even
construct that?
Stonehenge, like, didn't they say the stones were literally from another country or something?
Yeah, another part of the country, and then they go, oh well, they probably just put them on logs, like you said, and rolled them down. How'd they get them on top of each other? Well, you know, I don't really know about that.
We think
but remember,
that maybe
was it that show we watched where they said that the only or was it the podcast that we listened to? Of course, we don't listen to other podcasts. It's only Ritual with Amy Harvey. But when they said that the only reason or the only way they could have created those is if they had have had an aerial view from the sky, looking down on Earth. What was that?
I can't remember.
But it's the same as the pyramids. Like the pyramids are in one.
They're all
1/10 of a
perfectly
degree,
aligned.
1/10 of a degree. And
they're all on the same ley lines that connect to other points. I wonder if this place is connected by a ley line to anywhere. But anyway, the stones were tested and it was found that they came from a volcanic plug on the opposite side of Pompeii. So that's how far they would have had to have traveled, but they don't understand how they traveled. Because like that far back, like what's the technology like to be able to carry something?
Ancient aliens.
Exactly, over the ocean.
So
it's very bizarre. So apparently one of the reasons why the locals are so secretive about Nan Madol is because it is considered to be cursed. The local king, and I'm going to butcher his name, I think it's Nainwaki, made a proclamation saying to disrupt the holy ground that once belonged to past rulers with supernatural powers would be breaking the law. So it is considered 100% against the law to touch anything there. Like you are not allowed by royalty. You're not allowed to do that.
By royal decree,
fast forward into the future, and people don't care about this. So in 1874, the boat of a Polish anthropologist named Jan Kubani was carrying artifacts they had taken from Nan Madol. The boat was shipwrecked, and all the crates carrying the artifacts sunk to the bottom of the ocean. But then this one is a crazy one. So then go to early 20th century, and this is a fact. This is like stuff that's actually happened. Early 20th century, the island was then under German rule. So I'm assuming we're talking.
No, that's mid. No, just maybe.
Anyway, early 20th century, under German
early
rule.
1900s.
The governor, Victor Berg, He disregarded the royal ban and he entered Nan Madol. First no. Then, and this goes for anywhere you are in the world, you should never do this. He opened a sealed tomb that is said to be that of Elsipa. And they found the skeletal remains that were said to be at least 3 meters tall.
Oh, wow.
Now, never open a sealed tomb. Never.
Well, see, this is the thing, and they're doing that. And
learnt?
also, like, if you were to turn around and go, we're gonna go neck down to the cemetery, we're gonna dig up some coffins, we're gonna see what's inside.
Especially,
You know, you'd probably be like, can we not do that? It's a bit disrespectful, but they do it to Egyptians all the
I
time.
know, and that's what I'm talking about. You just don't do it.
Has no one seen the mummy?
Exactly. Don't do it. Never ever do it.
Don't do
If
it.
you get anything from this podcast, don't open a sealed tomb.
Don't open sealed tombs. Don't
So
open
anyway.
graves. In fact, don't go near graves and do anything with a shovel or even one of those tiny wee garden shovels.
Exactly. Anyway, so he opens up the tomb. They find this huge skeleton, and then a huge storm hits, and they barely get back to Pompeii. And as they're traveling, Victor becomes really sick, and he gets this crazy fever, and he can't walk. He can't talk. He's just completely flawed. And they call the doctor in, and he has absolutely no idea what's wrong with him. But Victor says that he can hear a
Conch?
conch shell.
Oh.
Yeah, he keeps hearing someone playing a conch shell, and he keeps seeing like orbs of light around the room. And then he died.
No.
And the doctor literally could not find a reason for death. Like he didn't have any diseases. There was no like organ failure. Like he literally just got sick and died. Just like that.
Do you think they put it down as a COVID death?
Probably. So then there have been more. I think there was one also with the Japanese. They had gone in and they had taken something, and again their boat was shipwrecked and they lost everything. Like literally it's like nothing is able to leave. Like it's prevented from leaving. And there's like one story after another that's all documented. Like that was a real person who died. So people can go to Nan Madol, like tourists go, and I think I've seen someone on TikTok go, but I think they're just really kind of like, if you go, we're not helping you. You have to get there on your own, and good luck.
And
like if you don't make it back, then
could you imagine there was somebody just going, I'm gonna see if this is real, you know, just like Max in Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Where he goes, you know, I'm just gonna see if this works, and then he lights the black candle, and the 3 Sanderson sisters return from the dead.
Well, I think that's what's happened.
Yeah, it certainly appears that way.
So yeah.
And through your extensive research,
Yes.
Amy, which I'm very impressed with.
Thank you.
You really killed my 4.5 minute story. What of the stuff that's sunk to the bottom of the sea?
I don't think they've ever found it.
Interesting.
So there you go. That's Nan Madol. Please feel free to go and look it up and do your own research, because there's so much about it. But it's just a weird place. Like I had just never heard of it.
I'm intrigued.
And then,
there must be docos on it, surely.
I don't know.
Do you want to watch one?
Yeah.
Yes.
But apparently the tomb as well is said to be this like crazy place. Like it's basically, they said the tomb is the size of a football field.
No way.
And it's inside is like, it's made up of almost like a maze. So you have to like go through this maze to even find where the body is.
Wow.
So yeah.
How
crazy.
amazing would it be to go to somewhere like that?
I know. You'd have to be so careful considering.
Don't touch anything, and dust your feet off on the way out, because if you're bringing soil with you or dust or dirt, you're going down, buddy.
But yeah, there you go.
Apparently.
There you go.
That was really good, Amy. Now I
Thank
want to
you.
watch a doco.
Yeah, let's try and find one. If we find one, we'll post it. You can watch it too.
called Nan Madol, Feliz Navidad.
The doco. But there we
Nan
go.
Madol, the
The
documentary.
doco.
That was really good.
It was,
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. There we go.
So we'll have to come back and do another one. There's so many
Yes.
places I want to do. I don't even know. I think I know my second one.
I would like to do an Australian one next.
Okay.
Maybe.
Mine's
Possibly.
not Australian.
I won't do that.
But if you have ones that you want us to do, like let us know as well.
And I promise I'll do more research next
Yeah,
time.
that would be nice.
It's just been one of those weeks and a
Mhm.
halves and 2 weeks.
We've heard about the episodes.
What? It has been.
I'm pretty sure the spooky stories one side with you going, I don't have any long ones. They're just lots of short ones.
It's been a journey, this whole experience.
Anyway.
Life.
Thank you for being here once again, Paddy. And
thank you so
sharing
much
all
for
your
having me,
wisdom.
Amy. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night. What have you got on for the rest of the afternoon, evening?
Basically, I'm going to go to sleep.
Right.
It's actually relatively early, which is exciting for me.
That's not early for you.
It's only 9:30. It's not bad.
That's late.
That's
for you.
that's my bedtime.
Yeah.
But if you are wanting to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram as always, and that is
At Wiccan Sage.
Wiccan Sage.
Facebook is at Wiccan Sage.
But if you want to watch us, it's on YouTube, and that's under a name called
Rose Thorn Cottage
Mhm.
with an E at the end of Thorn.
Yes.
Rose Thorn Cottage.
And where else?
Oh, and just as a reminder as well, sorry to interrupt there,
No,
Amy,
you're right.
but I'm really glad that you let me. Throughout this year, and I don't know if you've heard, and I'm just going to give you a little thing just in case, is that all of Wiccan Sage will be migrating over to Rosethorn Cottage at some point. So just be aware that will happen at some point.
This is the first seed that's planted, Paddy. We
Is it?
haven't talked about this before.
Do you want to cut this bit out?
No, it's fun. It's fine. It has to be done. It gives me more of a boot up the bum to do it.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
well,
so
I'm sorry. I just dropped a bomb.
Well, there's a reason why Rosethorn Cottage is called that on YouTube. Why YouTube is called Rosethorn Cottage, and it will all come out with more information.
Sorry, I didn't mean that. Did I reveal a secret?
No, well, you did, but that's fine.
Did you want to reveal a secret yourself?
I'm not fussed.
This is why I love this woman. Look at her. Beautiful.
Because I put up with you.
You're just so like, whatever. About this
gonna
thing in
murder
particular.
him
Everything
when I
else,
turn off.
very, very intense. But yeah, everything will be moving over to Rosethorn Cottage, which is very, very exciting.
It is
so
exciting.
for those of you who have listened this far into the podcast, made it to the end, listened and loved it.
Ritual will still be called Ritual.
Oh, yes.
So the podcast people, nothing will change for you.
No.
But anyway, and also you can find me on Patreon, which is also called Rosethorn Cottage. Oh my God, see? And that's fun. We have a really cool group, and we're actually meeting again soon for In Bulk. And Paddy was in the last meetup.
We had a Yule party.
We did.
Zoom
it was really
party.
fun.
And it was a nice group of people. And there was people.
Lots of funny people.
Yes, there was lots of chats. There was people having a drink. There was people having some tea. There was people just there to have a watch.
It was good.
And it was really good.
We all learned a lot about each other.
We did.
Yeah, it was really fun. So if you're keen to like be part of a little witchy community, that's definitely one option for you, because yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for that.
And there's also going to be opportunities in the future for just open discussions and questions, and for those who sort of practice more solitary, that is obviously completely fine, but sometimes it can feel very solitary as well.
Sometimes it's nice just to chat with someone and then go and do your own thing,
and like also to ask questions if someone sort of has been practicing a bit longer. Then they can sort of help and give advice or answer questions or whatever, especially if someone's been doing it for 20 years, but someone's been doing it for 10, someone's been doing it for 8. The 8 and the 10 are going to be a bit closer because, the 10 the person who's been practicing for 10 was only at 8 2 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
What did you just say?
So as in like, I wouldn't be very qualified to talk to somebody about what it was like in primary school.
Or maths.
Because I was at primary school a long time ago. But if somebody was in high school, they could comment more on primary school, right? But if I,
What?
you know,
If
I was in uni, I could comment on
I'm sorry that
high school.
this
You know what I
is
mean?
happening.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
just as confused.
What I'm trying to
as
say
everyone.
is, all in all, ipso facto, really awesome.
Patty won't be in the future meetups, just so you're aware. I don't want to scare anyone. The world is confusing enough.
Stay in school, kids.
But I have actually noticed as well, since we all like got to know each other, because there's a Facebook group that everyone's like,
What I said made sense.
no, it actually made no sense.
The
Literally,
closer you are
my brain
in experience,
stopped
the
because
closer
it didn't want to listen anymore.
the closer you are in experience to someone, the better prepared you can be to answer questions. But if you pass that
Are you
stage
doing
20
this
years
again?
ago, you might forget some stuff.
The thing about Paddy is he doesn't stop. So I'm sure we have at least 4 more analogies to go.
After this, you and I are gonna have a big chat.
I'm
tell me
thrilled.
about the Facebook group.
Yeah, everyone's like, you know, that now that the ice has been broken more, I've seen that it's a lot more chatty and people are asking some really cool questions and everybody's getting involved and everyone's so encouraging and nice, which is like, it's what it should be.
Yes. And they'll be getting in about
it. Should be, because I have been a part of some like witchy groups on Facebook and oh my God, it is so judgy and just negative.
And you want to create a
not
safe
what I
space.
wanted. It's
That's
a
right.
safe space. So
where
yes.
anyone, even if you have
Even if
difficulty
you say weird
trying to explain
analogies,
yourself, people accept you and don't judge you.
are
Amy.
semi-welcome.
You're out of the group. Judgy. You're very judgy. Yeah. So what I was saying was,
no, we're done with that now.
you understand?
We're done. Thank you for joining. I'm sorry about the last 6 minutes.
It makes perfect sense to me.
It's been just as painful for me as it has
Leave a
been
comment.
for you.
If you know what I'm saying.
We'll be back soon with an in bulk episode.
Oh yeah,
because that is literally in 3 weeks. Where is time? It's gone.
It's gone, dude.
It's our birthday soon.
I know, it's birthday month.
In 2 weeks.
It's the 5th.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Today. It's my birthday and then it's Amy's birthday 3 days later.
It's very exciting. You'll be hearing about this more.
Yeah.
So
you'll be hearing all about the wish lists and the presents.
Not from Paddy. Every year I ask him what he wants, and every single year he goes, I don't know. I don't even care.
I've got everything I could ever want or dream of. I have the most beautiful wife in the world.
So annoying.
My best friend. I have 2 gorgeous children.
Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine if I didn't get him a birthday present? It would literally be.
I would be completely fine.
You actually wouldn't be.
Give me half an hour alone, and I will be over the moon.
This is all lies. Anyway, now we're just going on. So I'm gonna go. You can stay if you want. I'm
gonna hang out a wee bit longer because I really want to get to the bottom of this experience. And if you're in like kindergarten.
Oh my God. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Say bye, Paddy.
Bye, Paddy.